IVM.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of Fight Mania podcast. This is Arjun and Somesh aka Mystic Chips with my dost Somesh, the superhuman camera.
Namaste dosto, namaste Mystic Chips.
Namaste. We've got a lot of topics to cover. We're hot on the trail of the road to UFC Asia. Had a lot of things happen and a couple of tragedies as well. A lot more to discuss after we come back after a quick commercial break.
Hello. It's been another great week here on the IVM Podcasts Network. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Utsav and Abbas discuss how COVID cases are on the rise in Mumbai. Introducing our new show, Intel vPro presents Future Proofing with Eklavya Bhattacharya, your one-stop shop for all things Web3, blockchain, metaverse and so much more. In the first episode, Eklavya talks to Advertising is Dead host Varun Dugirala about advertising on the web. On Simplified, Chuck, Shrikeet and Tony discuss why we aren't excited about smartphones anymore. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam and Atul Suri, CEO at Marathon Trends, talk about trend investing principles. On Smarter with Sid, Siddharth explains the 3 pillars of content creation. And on All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the Lancet Commission report on financing primary healthcare. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch, and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it in. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week. SBI Life Insurance, Jupiter, a digital banking app, Capgemini, get the future you want, Intel vPro, built for business, and Intel, future banao wonderful with Intel-powered laptops.
And we're back from the commercial break. Welcome back to Fight Mania episode 3. It's raining in Mumbai, Mr. Kamra, and the Tapman is becoming, well, it's certainly not cooler. It's getting hotter and hotter with so many things that have happened in the world of boxing and mixed martial arts this week. But before we get on to the hot topic of the road to UFC Asia, where sadly Pawan Man Singh, who performed today, was at the sore end of a loss. But we'll get back to it later. But I want to address first something that's been going on for a while, Somesh. We talk about, everybody, we talk about the fun things of the sport and we give you all the reports about what's happening across the world. But people also have to realize that it's a contact sport.
Yes.
Fighting is very real. It's as real as it gets.
Yes.
That used to be the UFC's tagline, as real as it gets. Once upon a
Absolutely.
time.
So when they first started off, it was positioned as a ruthless fight sport where maybe only one man comes out alive.
Exactly.
Sadly, this week, 2 men did not come out alive from the boxing ring.
In the world of boxing, we always say this, it comes down to the referees. In mixed martial arts, when a fighter is hurt, the referee is at the discretion to know when to stop it immediately.
Yes.
Boxers, because of the nature of the sport and the gloves and how it's done, they take repeated blows to the head constantly.
Yes.
They constantly take that shot, especially in the temple. If you're boxed, you tuck your chin in, and when you tuck your chin in and go low, when you slip a shot, whatever you do, you try to get out of the way. A lot of shots you take tend to end up taking on the head.
Yes.
And because of that, there was a horrible incident of a boxer, South African boxer, called Simizo Buthelezi, who was competing in a ring. And Somesh, if you see the video, we get to see the video of this right now. We're going to see if my producer, Surani, can play it live for us.
Yeah.
But I'll talk over it anyway. There was a moment where, he was fighting and he had knocked his opponent down. His opponent fell through the ropes and Buthelezi turned. Like, for example, if I'm standing here, this is my opponent right in front of me, in front of the screen. And I suddenly turn to Somesh where there's nobody. And I just start punching the air.
Right. So he basically went to his corner. He went to a turnbuckle and he was just kind of shadow boxing in the air.
Exactly.
In the middle of the fight.
Exactly. And it turns out that it was internal bleeding in the brain. Like, okay, take a look
Yes.
at this. Okay, this is now Buthelezi is there, the fighter on the left in the white shorts. The one who's down is his opponent. Okay?
Yes.
And
But
if you look at
Buthelezi
Buthelezi,
is standing up, is
correct.
what
Look
you're
at,
saying.
look at Buthelezi. His hands are up. It looks like he's ready to fight. But now he goes after the referee thinking that he's his opponent. And now his referee is moved away and Buthelezi is fighting into the air. It turns out this was due to internal bleeding in the brain
Oh my
and
God.
went into a coma after this for a while and has sadly passed away a few hours after.
Oh my God, that is such a
It's
tragic
horrifying.
incident. That is such a tragic incident.
No.
See, typically what happens in boxing is your target area is primarily the head.
Yeah.
In MMA, I can kick, I can take you down, I can grapple. So the amount
Yeah.
of shots that a fighter takes on his head is way lesser compared to the sport of boxing. However, these sad incidents have happened, 2 of them this week.
Yeah,
And, we preach safety out here
No, but
to the core.
you
but
can't do it. You see, you can't do anything. Like, for example, in the case of Musa Askan, okay, he was a German boxer, 38 years of age. This man is a veteran. He's been
Yeah.
a European champion. He's won some belts across Europe and Asia. And he's a weathered champion. And he was fighting against, I forgot who his opponent is, but you can Google it. And so Musa Askan was fighting and he took a big shot in the middle of the round, goes back to his corner,
Yeah.
and then suddenly slumps down in his corner, unconscious.
And he collapses there, right?
And he collapsed in his corner. And it turns
Oh
out
my
that he had a
God.
heart attack mid-fight and died.
Oh my God. Oh my, God bless their soul.
I
God
mean,
bless their
he's
soul.
just 38. He's a young man. And
Right.
and fighters are in the peak conditions of their lives,
Yes.
but there's, then there's a whole separate topic, Somesh, that with, as you as a coach, you've also preached that there's something called overtraining.
There's
When-
overtraining. There is, sometimes there is substance abuse.
Substance abuse, overtraining, and a lot of fighters, to get ahead, in the past at least, not anymore because now it's a lot more regulated, I think.
Yes.
But a lot of guys, I don't know what has happened. We don't know the toxicology reports. We don't know anything. And neither am I a news channel or a medical examiner to find out.
Right.
But the thing is that, he died of a heart attack in the middle of a fight.
That is extremely sad. That's extremely sad. We don't wish this for anyone. But, these incidents, sadly, they happen in contact sports. It's in fact even happened in football, where footballers have suffered heart attacks on the pitch.
You mean like football or American football?
Football, like soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer. So people have died on the field. So, these things happen. It's just best to just take care of yourself.
I mean, you can do
And,
what in football, chalo, you don't expect it because it's not a contact sport.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
MMA and in fighting and in boxing, see, that's why I like MMA because, referees in MMA it's not like I don't like boxing before you jump on me. I love
Yeah.
boxing. I'm a big boxing fan.
Yeah.
But it's just that the repeated blows cause tiny concussions that sometimes people don't know that they have.
Yes.
You can have a concussion and not know about it.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
signs of a concussion. You'll start vomiting. You'll have a few basic symptoms that exist. I remember I had a concussion. I was vomiting for half an hour.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I knew that there's some problem with me.
Right. But what happens with fighters, when they have like a 10-year long career
Yeah.
and there are repeatedly small concussions towards the end, it just adds up. It builds up and there's cumulative fatigue that happens in the head. So,
Do you remember this conversation we had with Gary Mangat?
yeah.
One of our conversations. And he spoke very passionately about post-traumatic epilepsy.
Yes, he
that
did.
happens with very commonly in boxers. And he said he started feeling it in his career now.
Yeah.
So he stopped sparring hard
Yeah.
because of those issues.
Yes.
And he started seeing, he told me that he used to forget things out of the blue.
yeah.
Forget small things. Not like the way I forget things because, I drink.
Yeah.
So it's not the same way. It's not my fault. It's Surohini. It's after every show, she needs her $100 martinis, man. It doesn't exist. Half the reason we are on the air at this time slot is because of that. There's this bar called Panchmukhi and she taught them how to make it. So that just goes without saying that anyway. I thought it's high time we lighten the mood a little
I
bit.
know. It
It's
was
getting a
just
little
getting
morose
yeah,
now.
it was getting too
So
serious
no more
out here.
talks about PT and CT, but sadly, when we go to look at her, she's giving me a stink eye now. Tu bheg tu bahar mil tu abhi. Fight Mania tab hoga. No, but
Oh my
Somesh, tell me, man. So Somesh, like we said, Somesh Kamra has been instrumental in sending the Indian athletes to the road to UFC.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about, it started and what a production,
Oh
man.
my God. In fact, today was the first 2 episodes came out on the road to UFC.
First two? No, first day. Sorry,
Yeah.
first day.
No, so basically first day is 2 episodes.
What's
So,
the schedule? So it's now 2 more days, right? Or one more day?
it's just one more day.
Okay.
It's just on June 10th, which is tomorrow.
Hmm.
Another 2 episodes will come out. So each episode has one featured bout, which is not a part of the tournament, and 4 bouts, which are part of the tournament.
Wow.
So today was so exciting because it was produced so well. The last time Road to UFC happened was in 2015
Man.
in Japan, where they first conceptualized the idea, and it was in the banks for 7 years.
Right.
And it came back with an absolute bang in Singapore, where one fighter from each of the 4 weight categories will get a
So
contract with
flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight.
lightweight. And today we had our first fighter, Pawan Man Singh, who fought in the road to UFC. Sadly, he was on the losing side. He went 3 rounds and there was a vicious
Yeah.
spinning back fist.
Honestly,
that just shut his lights.
Nobody would have seen that coming. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. If guys like Carlos Condit and and Nick Diaz have been caught by
And Dominic
spinning back
Reyes.
fist, and Dominic Reyes, a stud, a former title contender,
Yeah.
can get caught by a spinning back fist and be put to sleep. There is no shame in going out. Sometimes it's just he faced a more creative, younger opponent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people, as usual, are talking shit about it on the internet. So, Pawan, bhai, ye suno mat aap, aapne sahi kiya. Aapne opportunity liya. You have done a great job. You've done more than what a lot of people could do.
In fact, people don't realize this, that it takes so much of guts, courage, discipline to even
man.
get in the octagon. And once you're there, there's a little bit of, fear that sinks in, a little bit of panic that sinks in, which gets you tired even faster. In fact,
It's
even
an adrenaline dump. Yeah.
absolutely, even his opponent got tired in round 3.
Exactly. they were
Pawan
gassed.
himself was a little gassed in round 3, and we can clearly see the size difference. Pawan had packed in a lot more muscle. He was ready.
Yeah.
Yes, he didn't throw his combinations. He lost. All of that is absolutely fine. But going 3 rounds with a top opponent from Indonesia is no joke.
No.
I personally felt he did a very, very good job. He's 36 years old, maybe
He
in the final leg of his career. And yes, he does have that stamp of having a UFC
Absolutely. No shame in
fight
that.
under his belt. And I don't think there's
No shame in
anything
that.
wrong in that.
No, it's-
However, another interesting update is
Uh-huh.
Anshul's opponent backed off.
Oh,
The weigh-ins
that's
were today.
right.
Anshul's opponent, Patrick Usami, didn't make
It was
the
a weight
scale.
issue.
He
What
did-
are you saying?
He didn't make the scale, saying, I'm feeling sick, I cannot
Oh,
cut
no.
weight,
Okay.
I'm done.
Oh
And-
shit! So he couldn't go forward. He
And I
couldn't
got
move
a
forward.
call in the morning at 6 o'clock
I remember
from
you
the,
telling me this. Yeah.
from the Las Vegas office, and they said, listen, this guy is not making weight. However, the UFC is so strict and so professional. They said Anshul has to make weight in order to qualify for the next
Correct. See,
round.
because the bracket continues.
Absolutely.
So if somebody concedes a slot, so in any tournament setting,
Yeah.
when you have a round of, say you have 16 opponents or 8 opponents,
Yeah.
when they start any round, so if a player concedes or loses, the bracket still continues. So
Absolutely,
fighter A
yes.
will move forward.
Absolutely,
So-
yes. So he had to make weight. He made 155.5 pounds, which
Correct.
is in the permissible limits.
Correct.
And he has moved on to the semi-finals of the
Bravo,
road.
man.
Which is a good thing.
Which in a way is technically a victory. So we
absolutely.
we won one, we lost one.
Absolutely.
So I'm proud of Team India. Go
So-
with Team India always. But
Yeah.
one thing, I got to come back and say just one thing. And I always say this because it's very close to my heart. And I always feel this and I get emotional about it. Don't fucking talk shit about
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit about people. Don't talk shit about fighters. Because I've known this man personally for the last 10 years.
Yes.
I've seen him become a champion. I've seen the kind of work he's put in.
A two-division champion.
A 2-division, lightweight and welterweight. And he's fought at lightweight since 9 years ago. He fought at lightweight.
Yes.
At SFL in Andheri, I remember.
Yes.
I was there, I was commentating, and I've seen what the man has been through. If you don't have anything nice to say, shut the F up.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
It pisses me off to no end.
In fact, a lot of people don't know this, but Pawan Man Singh cut 21 kgs in
Jesus.
35 days for this fight.
It's incredible. And
He's 36 years old. He has a determination. Most
he has
people,
the skills.
the first time when I got a call saying that, the Japanese opponent of Anshul has kind of backed off.
Correct.
Sometimes you get cold feet. You can't cut weight. It's the biggest stage of your life. The fact that Pawan Man Singh has made weight, he stepped into the octagon, he went 3 rounds.
Exactly.
Is a big thing.
He made
Guys, it's a
weight.
big thing.
And the thing is, I've seen pro athletes quit on the stool within rounds.
Yes.
And
yes.
sadly, I know Sasha Sharma. He was in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And
in Conor McGregor's team.
And he couldn't continue.
Yeah.
And no knock on him. Being a fighter is a tough job. It is a mental job.
Yeah.
But props to Pawan Man Singh, who went ahead
and he
survived.
He ate some vicious leg kicks,
Vicious leg kicks. I mean, those were the kind of leg kicks. In the second round, he got knocked down with a leg kick.
Yes.
And a lot of people would see him, people have said, oh, he didn't have this, he didn't have that. I urge you, please put on a pair of gloves, wear a mouth guard, don't wear a mouth guard, walk in, get punched in the face for a living, and then tell me how prepared you'll be to be step in on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
He's not fighting in a lower promotion. He's fighting in front of millions of people.
Yes.
This is the first time he's getting the spotlight. He's representing Asia as well as his own country.
Absolutely, yes.
So forgive him. And the thing is that he messaged both Somesh and I that he's sorry.
Yeah.
You have nothing to be sorry about, ever.
The guy, he stood up to the occasion. He lived up to the expectation. Guys, please show some love. Don't trash your own
don't
team.
show some love also. I don't care. Don't show love. But you goddamn show some respect.
Yes. Show respect.
Show respect to somebody who does something.
Who, most of us can't cut 3 kgs in 6 months. This guy cut 21 kgs in 35 days. Guys, come on.
I got 2 kgs in 1.5 months.
Ooh.
I'm feeling better.
Mystic Chips is on the road to becoming Sexy Chips.
Yeah. The road to UFC and the road to sexiness are both happening simultaneously. But I can't keep doing this because Rohini has got very rich tastes in food and alcohol. So avoiding going out with her is also a punishment, Once she by mistake dropped the coffee when I said no.
Oh.
On my leg. I was wearing shorts and I was wearing white shoes. It looked like a Jackson Pollock painting, or I shat myself or something. It looked like very bad. Yeah.
Small forms of torture.
Small. These are the passive aggressive forms. Oh, you can't make it for drinks? People like, she's got a career in Guantanamo Bay.
Absolutely.
If they opened Guantanamo Bay again, she's got a real job offer waiting for her. But moving on. Today's a controversial episode. Huh?
It's a very controversial episode.
I'm waiting for the comments later. But guys, yes, you can please hashtag Fight Mania in all your comments. In any questions that you have, we will be more than happy to read them out aloud. And appreciate everything from anybody. You want to ask us any questions? You want to talk to any of the fighters? And I think we're going to, once these boys are back from Singapore and the dust is settled, we're going to get them on the show.
Absolutely.
We're going to get them live here.
Absolutely, yes. In fact, we will be getting Pawan Man Singh
as
well.
We'll do a Q&A. Can you imagine Pawan Man Singh sitting right in the middle of us here, between the two of us like this?
Oh, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Great.
We can totally do that, I think.
It would be awesome.
And Pawan Bhai will fly down also. He'll come. Both we get Pawan Man and Anshul. We do a little tournament here also. We'll call it a name calling out. Call out whoever you want.
Yeah.
IBM Podcast presents Fight Mania Call Out Edition. Call anyone you want out. Even in the comments. Even if it's Rohini, it's cool. Call her out.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. But something that I really would want to call out in our next segment after this commercial break is UFC 275. And how crazy pumped are we? Because we have our crew that is there in Singapore just shooting everything.
Yes, Mr. Fahad.
We have John Dykes with us who's going to be joining us.
Legendary presenter, John Dykes.
Absolutely. He is going to be joining us in the Ultimate Guide to UFC this Sunday in the morning at 7:30 a.m.
6:30. We start at 6:30.
Oh my God.
How dare you say the wrong time?
We start at 6:30.
Producer Ji, can you drop the coffee there this time?
Well, absolutely. It's going to be 6:30 a.m. But all of this and more coming on the other side of a short commercial break. We will see you when we come back.
Do you find yourself in a room full of people talking about investments and insurances and feel left out? Do you also want to understand how to spend your money wisely? Then you have come to the right place. Welcome to SBI Life Presents A Sip of Finance, a women-exclusive podcast where we break down difficult financial topics into simple and straightforward episodes with your host, Priyanka Acharya, a finance expert who's been in the industry for 14 plus years. And not just in English, but in 7 more languages. So tune in every Tuesday for fresh episodes on the IBM Podcast Network and all major podcast streaming platforms.
I'm still having a laugh about the wrong timing to Baad Mein Mil. But welcome back to Fight Mania. We're having a riveting conversation. Sometimes I can get a bit carried away and get a little emotional in what I have to say. But you know what? I don't apologize for it because what I'm saying is absolutely right. Respect
Yes.
someone, or you don't have to love them, you don't have to hate them, but you will respect them.
Absolutely,
But moving
yes.
on to what I call respect is one of the fights coming up in UFC 275. There are two title fights. We have Jiří Procházka, the contender, taking on the 43-year-old champ Glover Teixeira, who seems to be on a Cinderella man run, Somesh.
Well, it's crazy on how these so-called elderly fighters
Elderly.
are not only making a comeback, but they are really putting on the performance of their life. In fact, one of them being Pawan Man Singh, 36 years
Pawan
old,
Man.
towards the, possibly the fag end of his
Yeah,
career.
correct. No, it is the
Still
start of the
hanging
end.
there. It's
Yeah.
still hanging there, putting on a show. In fact, up kicking his opponent, and when he's like on his back,
He was kicking the knees out. I
he
was so
kicking
happy.
the knees out. He was up kicking him. It was great.
It's,
Yeah, it was great.
It's I know for a fact that he's cut from that mindset.
Yes.
That will go back to the drawing board.
Yes.
Because now that sometimes there are guys who taste international competition and they come back and say, no, I can't do this.
Yes.
Or there are guys who can come back and do it immediately.
Absolutely.
And we had a chat with him before we did the show, and he looks determined. He's like, you know what, my ego is hurt more than my body.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
so we wish him the best of luck. But speaking of bodies, not bodies in that sense,
Yeah.
we're not looking at bodies or anything. But I'm just trying to say is that Glover Teixeira, he might be
Yeah.
43 years old, but let's not forget, Randy the Natural Couture won the heavyweight strap from Tim Sylvia
Yeah.
when he was 44 years of age.
And that was on his comeback. So he quit the sport
Correct.
at about 40,
Had
41.
taken a 3-4 year
break.
hiatus.
Yes, he took a
Yeah.
3-4 year break. He came back and he beat Tim Sylvia to be the heavyweight champion of the world.
And
But, having said that, we all said Jiří Procházka is going to do this and that and stuff. But moving closer to fight day, we all
I
are
told
swinging
you.
towards Glover. We all are saying,
I am picking
maybe,
Glover, boss.
maybe that old, hard body is going to do it again.
See, he can. I'm not going to break it down here. You need to tune in and watch The Ultimate Guide to UFC this Sunday at 6:30 in the morning, where we have an incredible breakdown. We have lots of great content coming
Yes.
up, where we're going to sit down and split as to why we're picking home. But we'll do Hawa se. But speaking of fighters who've had a long hiatus, is Joanna Yocek
Yes.
is making her way back after 2.5 years. She fought January of 2020.
Oh my
And
God.
it's been a long break that she's taken.
In fact, that is such a good point, because when fighters take these lengthy breaks, it actually sometimes works for them. There are
That's
some
true.
fighters who, like someone like a Uriah Faber, 2-3 years off, came back, faced Ricky Simon, beat him in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, he didn't kind of go on to, creating wonders as he did, but he came back and he won. Joanna's young. She's looking better. She's looking fitter. She's looking friendlier.
Did you see? No, did you see
know?
her in the face-off? She's wearing this gorgeous dress and
Yeah,
heels, and
yeah.
she's
She's flamboyant.
She's become a little more glamorous.
Yes.
Like, let's just say she's become a little more glamorous, and she's looking. Oh, she was looking beautiful before also.
Yes.
She's still looking more and more beautiful.
Absolutely.
But she comes out and then she's like, "Let me be friendly," and then she goes into her boogie woman
Yeah.
stance. And I love that boogie woman stance that she does.
Once that's in your DNA, you can't get that.
And she's got that one finger up.
Yeah.
And she's doing that. I'm coming after you. I don't give a shit. I'm coming after you.
But Wiley Zhang, oh my God.
What if?
Looking at the way the Chinese fighters are fighting in road to UFC, and
God,
and let me tell you, China had a 4-week lockdown
That's true.
before
Shanghai
June.
had a 4-week lockdown.
And a lot of Chinese fighters who were training at the Performance Institute could not get out of their houses. Forget going to a gym or
Their rooms, dude. They were
could not get
confined
out
in
of their rooms. So in fact, they were in like a 10 by 10 room, and they were doing whatever that they had to do from that space.
Correct. We saw that in the fight against, I think, Yi Zha versus Sasuke. I think Sasu versus Yi Zha. And we initially made jokes saying Sasuma and this, that, and that.
yeah.
But we can't help because we are comedians / analysts.
Yeah.
But I remember Yi Zha had the training he did in his own room on his
Yeah.
own was so awesome. He came out with such a bang.
But see, it again comes down to mindset. It comes down to determination. I don't need to go to a fancy gym in Thailand or somewhere of that sort. You could, if you have that determination, it could just well work wonders for you.
And
Come
also,
on,
and skills also.
Yeah.
Guys like BJ Penn, they didn't train at fancy institutes.
man,
I mean,
seriously,
he started training with Jason Perillo later.
like Max Holloway.
I don't even know where he trains.
Yeah,
he trains at home alone.
You know,
he
he
doesn't even
trains-
have partners.
He trains in Hawaii like with 2 people.
I'm telling you, it's the water in Hawaii. Even
Yeah.
BJ Penn is from Hawaii.
He is. You know,
All these Hawaiian boys, man.
they've got this killer attitude. But again, coming
know
back to
how to
UFC
scrap,
275 this Sunday.
There's just so many distractions. today.
Yeah, this Sunday
many
it's coming up. The live fight is at 7:30 a.m. but we go live at 6:30 a.m. on Sony 10, 1, 2 and 3.
We do. We go live at 6:30 and we're going to talk about a lot of things. But right now, we're just going to discuss the co-main event and the main event. The main event is for the light heavyweight title between Glover Teixeira and taking on the number 1 contender, Jiří Procházka. We've talked about the crazy man from the jungle. He also has a ponytail like me. Only cooler, way cooler ponytail. But and way cooler skills and basically looks better also. Actually, why are we comparing? Yeah, it's just like comparing apples to roads. But the point is that it's going to be a great title fight because it's a clash of 2 styles.
Yeah.
It's young lion versus old lion, and
Yeah.
this is what movies are made of.
Someone who's very methodical, like a Glover Teixeira, versus someone who's a little
Pagal.
like a little pagal, unorthodox, uncanny,
Psychotic.
Spinning elbows,
Mad.
upward elbows,
Unpredictable.
all.
Whatever you say, I'm just going to add a word to the adjective.
So I think it's a great clash of styles.
It's amazing.
Till about 10 days back, I was very Jiří Procházka.
No, you made your picks now. Balls.
And
You can't
now
change.
that you're moving closer to fight day, oh my God, Glover Teixeira is looking absolutely
Okay, what does your heart say?
Fabulous.
What is your dil? No, ask honestly. No, like see, when you're alone is the only time that you'll actually listen to yourself. And be honest.
You know what my heart says? My heart says Glover Teixeira. To be honest,
He's going to do it. I'm telling you. Crystal ball time. I'm like some 8,000 million times who have won this contest between us. So
it's not going to be easy to put him out. And we saw what he did with his vicious left hooks. We saw what he could do with his rear naked chokes.
the only man who has stopped Glover Teixeira with one shot is Anthony Johnson, who hits like a BST bus. So that's the only man. Uppercut stung Glover Teixeira and he went down. The second man who stopped him, but it was a barrage of shots, was the Swede,
Alexander
Gustafsson.
Alexander Gustafsson.
3 uppercuts he landed and Glover was still alive.
I think that's the game plan Jiří Procházka has to do. But does Jiří Procházka have the tools? Does he have the wrestling? Does he have the jiu-jitsu?
No.
To
That's the
stop
thing.
him.
Has he trained? Because if Dominic Reyes can hold you down, Glover's not going to let you get back up, dude.
And we saw what Did
to Jan. Jan is a heavy, big
and we saw what
heavyweight.
Jan did to Israel Adesanya. Izzy could not even move. Once Jan was on top of him, he could not move. He was squashed.
Correct.
And Glover, once he was on top of Jan could not move.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is somebody like Glover, if he's on top of you, and he will not give him any room.
Yes.
He won't give him any room. And
Yes.
when you're forced to carry someone's weight
Yeah.
and under you and defend yourself, I don't care if you have the cardio and you can last for 1.5 hours, you will last for 1 minute after that.
Absolutely.
You will be
yes.
gassed.
Absolutely.
Completely
yes.
gassed.
So to be honest, my head is saying Jiří Procházka. My heart is saying Glover Teixeira.
Dil pe mat le yaar fir.
But we would want to hear from you. What do you think? So hashtag Fight Mania, tag Fight Mania in all your posts, and you could
Yes,
be
please.
a lucky winner of some very cool IVM merchandise which has just
Well,
launched.
she's wearing it. She's wearing it now.
She's looking so cool.
Yeah, she wrote like this: the SJs don't touch and all.
She's looking so cool.
I tried going like this and I think material dikhao na jara. Patak! Black coffee on the arm and all straight. How do you think I got this scar? This scar is fresh. It just happened. It's straight up burn scar.
It's a torture chamber out here, but we are still laughing through it. Let's
But
move on
no,
to the
torture chamber. Because talking about the torture chamber is the women's title fight.
Oh my God. It's what you rightly say. It is Valentina Shivchenko versus ritual sacrifice.
No.
I mean, I don't know what these Russian fighters are made of. They just don't lose focus.
Dude, even
like
the-
Khabib just doesn't lose for 29-0. Doesn't lose focus.
You know what? Till about, like you said, till about 2 weeks ago, you were all Jiří Procházka,
Yeah.
and then you went. Same, I was all Valentina Shivchenko till 2 weeks ago, till I actually started paying attention and seeing Talia Santos. Talia Santos has
Really?
had... Talia Santos is the kind of fighter who is... She's Yes, she's right now, she's psyching herself out. Like Valentina is right. You
Yeah.
know, it's very, you have to understand when you're taking on a dominant champion, it's not about your skills after a point. It is about your mind.
Yes. Yes.
It's, people like Valentina Shivchenko, GSP, Anderson Silva, they break John Jones, they break you mentally.
yes.
You've lost your battle before you enter the cage. So, especially with Valentina, who's right now the only dominant person,
Yeah.
left in as a champion. I'm not saying the other champions are not dominant, but she's just been defending.
Oh, she's
defense
at a
after
whole new
defense.
level.
She's sitting there like you remember Sachin Tendulkar in his prime,
Yeah.
where all he could do was hit sixes after a point.
Oh man,
He's-
seriously.
she's just in that slot now. She's in that zone. She's having the innings of her lifetime. And right now, it's hard. Talia Santos is doing what she needs to do to psych
Yeah.
herself out.
Yeah.
She's, sometimes we spoke about it in one of our episodes with, I don't remember who we had on with us, but we talked about how fighters can sometimes, have to fool themselves
Hmm.
to go into a zone. It's like if I
Right.
know if tomorrow I've got a charity boxing match
Yeah.
with Anderson Silva,
Yeah.
I have no chance in hell.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell myself 20,000 times, if I was a legit fighter, I would still tell myself 20,000 times saying,
You can
you can
win.
do this.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
a man. He's just a man. He's not a machine. But the thing with Valentina is that I don't know if she's a woman. Or she's definitely a woman, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But is she a machine?
I mean,
I don't know if she's human. Let me just rephrase that before I get killed.
see, typically what happens here is that once you have a fighter that is so focused, and if you see the kind of fighter that she is, we don't know who her parents are. We don't know if she has a boyfriend. We don't know if she has she's so mysterious. She's kept everything away from the
So,
world.
Are
and
you
she's
trying to say
she's
that
so
she was?
laser focused?
Are you trying to say that she was developed in the KGB or CIA lab?
I have no idea, but looking at
Very
her
possible,
focus,
no?
I don't know
Can
anyone.
we get a picture of Valentina Shivchenko to show the audience who we are talking about? I mean, when you look at her, she's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's got see that, she's beautiful and everything. She's a little tiny thing also.
But
she's short.
that's there to fool you.
But
She's all fun and games before the fight. But oh my
oh my
God, once
God.
fight week kicks in and she lands on Tuesday at the venue,
It's
from Tuesday till Saturday,
yeah.
it's no games whatsoever. She is stone cold. She's so
My
flat
God.
faced and she comes with that
No, the eyes, man, they're
magnificent.
scary.
She comes that magnificent, cooling attitude that the entire temperature drops in the room. when
Correct.
she
Let's see the
comes.
temperature drop now. If we can get a picture of hers to just show the audience, or show, you guys can Google it also. Valentina Shivchenko is a very, very famous fighter.
Absolutely.
So-
She's also called Bullet Valentina in case you guys are
She-
logging on to
You know
Instagram.
why she's called the Bullet though? She's fast.
She's fast.
She's got demon speed.
Yeah.
She could, but so it's a speculation. So you guys take a look at the picture and tell us #Fight Mania and ask us. You can speculate whether she was in a CIA lab or the KGB.
Absolutely.
Was she
but
designed? Was she designed as someone like that?
correct.
So we don't know. I think our picture's coming up right now. Let's take a look at Valentina Shevchenko. Can we see her eyes, please? Can we zoom into a picture where we see her eyes a little bit? And we take a look at,
Oh
you look
my
at
God.
her.
She's
it's-
stone cold. In fact, I'm getting the chills right now.
I know.
Sitting here,
It's not the AC. It's just, looking at her.
it's just Valentina.
It's just Valentina. Look at that. Look at the eyes. I mean,
Like-
she's cute and sweet, but when she stands in front of you,
She's cold. She's a cold-blooded killer.
she is, I rarely use this term. This is somebody whose only mission in life is to seek and destroy
Yes.
her opponent.
Yes.
And it is incredible the way she does her job.
and the best
jokes
part is
apart,
what?
that
She's
was all
not
having some fun and games.
She's not the biggest opponent, but man,
she's not imposing.
nobody takes her down. She's strong. She's fast.
She takes you down.
I just don't know. It's sad for me to see someone like this in the UFC, the highest level of competition, not having enough fighters in that league to compete against her.
That's the thing.
But the good part is Misha Tate has gone down in that
But
division.
no. Don't sleep on Talia Santos. I've been watching her.
Yeah.
I've been studying her tape.
Oh, so I completely agree with you. I'm not sleeping on anyone, but I just feel she's on that mode of Khabib and what Amanda Nunes
But
was.
what?
But what if there's always
The what if segment is always there.
There's
Okay, what
always
would
a
be a bigger upset? Would it be on the same? Would Valentina losing her belt tomorrow, us on Sunday, would be on the same level as GSP losing his belt?
No, I think Valentina is a bigger upset, according to me.
Actually, you know what?
GSP,
GSP lost when he was young. Also,
I felt GSP is beatable. Valentina to me seems unbeatable. She seems unbeatable.
I mean, come on. She took Amanda Nunez's shots and stood in the pocket with her.
And it was a razor-thin decision.
And it was a razor-thin decision.
She fought her in the bantamweight division because there was no flyweight division.
Correct. And she went up a weight division.
Yeah, she went up a weight division. So honestly, this woman can do anything. I am Team Bullet Valentina. You, ladies and gentlemen, can hashtag us, tag us across all platforms. Please write to us on Fight Mania.
You'll win this awesome cup where it says IVM turns 4. It's digitally signed by Surohini Jain, the producer, and she'll sign it also personally.
Yeah.
And if you win our contest, you can get to meet her personally also, and so that she can throw hot coffee on you directly. It's a privilege to have it happen.
We have our own Bullet Valentina.
We all have our burn marks. It's like a cult, all of us have our burn marks and all. You met SJ. Okay.
Those Harley Davidson tattoos.
So now we're part of a secret cult and all. Like anybody who's crossed paths with the producer knows this now. We're like, you too? Me too.
And then we go, me too.
I was just avoiding saying that because I think they're going to shut us down at this point.
No, they're not going to shut us down, but it has been a fantastic episode. We have looked forward to some great fights in the road to UFC. We had some few tragic incidences, but however, the Indian fighter has moved on in the road to UFC. Anshul Jubli, congratulations. You are in the semi-finals, and of course, it's a great weekend for us with UFC 275, where we're going to be in the studio, Sony 10 1, 2, 3, live this Sunday, 6:30 a.m.
6:30
with John Dykes in Singapore.
The legendary John Dykes.
The legendary John Dykes in the studio in Singapore. He's going to be joining us. It's going to be a fantabulous weekend. So please do join in. We will see you same time, same place next week on Fight Mania, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Stay tuned for some more action on MMA, boxing and all combat sports. See you next week.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Don't you think that if everyone around you is getting smart, you better be smarter? Hey there, I'm the traveling professor Siddharth Deshmukh and I'm back with season 2 of my podcast to make you smarter. Smarter with Sid. What's this season's focus about? Well, it's about 10-minute nuggets that will make you stand out at work. It's time to go from smart to smarter. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday and become smarter with Sid.